Hello everyone, this is Alexander, and as always, welcome to my art review series. In this 13th episode, I'll be checking out 10 different artists that I selected from the comic section in my previous video. Anyways, let me start off with the first picture. Okay, for the first illustration, I'll be reviewing a picture that was made by MacLeod. The title of this image is called Shorty Squad Fusion. Obviously, this picture is meant to be a fan drawing that features the three characters from Steven Universe, such as Steven, Amethyst, and Peridot, who are formed together as one being. I do find the artist's creativity in this one to be very fascinating, and it's nice how she implemented certain designs of the characters onto their fusion. You can easily point them out. For example, Peridot's visor, Amethyst's leggings, and Steven's star symbol. I do believe that the arms and legs of this character should require some more work. Still, it looks pretty good. Moving forward is a digital illustration done by the Puppet Master 88, who drew two ponies confronting a serious threat ahead of them. The picture itself looks very nice, but the thing that scratches my head is the shading that's been applied on all three characters, especially the one in the center. By the way, I have no issue on the type of material or even the technique she used, but I recommend visioning a light source where the light is being directed on the characters so that the light and shadows can be reflected more realistically. In this situation, the shading appears to be all over the place. But again, the coloring behind this OC of hers does showcase a better sense of shading than the other two characters. Next up is a traditional drawing done by Underrated Dev, and the picture features a young feminine boy that is depicted in a chibi art style. Also, I'm fully aware that the artist is practicing the whole chibi thing as mentioned in her description, so I'm going to give her a few pointers on how to turn this drawing of hers into a more detailed version. For starters, we all know that many characters who are depicted in a chibi size have a very large head that is bigger than their own body. Looking back at the drawing, her character Marcus appears to have an average build size from head to toe. I recommend that the artist should decrease the character's body size and enlarge his head. Of course, this type of change can't be altered on the same picture since it has to be done on a new shitty paper. By the way, using tutorials that are related to this type of subject is a good way to start. For the fourth drawing, I'll be looking at a picture that SJ Gaming 786 drew, and it happens to be a character named Professor George Colin, who is Russian and 45 years old. By the way, I do want to mention that I rarely see a lot of artists on DeviantArt illustrating certain characters that are depicted in a mildly old age. Most of the time, I usually discover drawings that feature kids or even teens. So it's actually nice that I get the chance to critique something like this for a change. Anyways, let me discuss about the character's overall design. He looks very good, and I like the fact that he doesn't have any generic or bland distinctives. His attire, or in other words his clothing, does fit well for his appearance, and it's pretty obvious that he does showcase some signs of power and higher intelligence. And no, I'm not referring to his large head. I was actually talking about the pose that he's currently standing in. I do want to mention that I did discover one error in this piece, and it was his glasses. If you look closely, you'll realize that both of his eye rims are left slightly transparent. In this case, it's supposed to be left solid. The lenses, on the other hand, are fine, but it's always a good idea to check over your work before submitting it online. So, for the fifth picture, I'll be checking out a drawing done by Shelby Cat, who drew a picture of her friend's persona named Jaden. Looking at the drawing, it reminds me of when I critiqued Red Western Ranger's drawing from my previous video. I will admit that this piece looks very adorable. I don't know what I would say to improve the quality of this image, but I would position Jaden more in the center of the paper while fixing her body in a straight angle to make her look more presentable. Heading forward to the sixth division, I'll be checking out a drawing titled Alexandra the Queen of Demons. I will mention that this was illustrated by this artist. When I first looked at it, I quickly assumed that this character was male, but just to be sure, I've actually messaged the artist to confirm the real gender to me, and she replied back saying that her character is actually female. But of course, I should have looked at this drawing very closely without making a quick judgment. Still, speaking of genders, since this character is meant to be female, then I highly recommend adjusting her body to be more feminine-like. Looking at images of females in different shapes is a great way to start, and you can even use these images to hold as future references. Well, this is very adorable. So I'll be checking out an artist named 3PCA who had drew a picture of their own character. In the description, she has apologized for the bad quality, but in my opinion, it looks fine. Moving back to the drawing, I do find the artist's art style to be quite delightful, especially with its energetic colors flowing on the canvas. Also, I find the background to be very simple and intriguing at the same time. I've realized that the resolution in this piece is a little low. If you're interested in working on a drawing with a decent resolution, then I highly suggest creating a canvas that is large, but not too large of course. Possibly a size of 20/800 by 200 3500, and don't forget to set the DPI to 300 or 350. In my case, I normally go with the 350. Moving on to number 8, which is a traditional color drawing with the title of Bra. Also, the person who designed this is named Neotastic, who also shares a different name known as Jay. So Jay had drawn a picture that features a imaginative dragon that is blowing blue and purple flames, while possessing crystals on its back. I would definitely give the drawing a 10 out of 10 for how creative this is, but there's one thing I would like to talk about, and that's the line work. Some of the lines in the drawings appear to be disconnected, and there are some sections that showcases smudges surfacing around the dragon. Still, this picture looks nice, but I recommend that the artist should take their time and carefully draw out their awesome ideas with nice precision. Next artist is named Michael, who provided a link of their character called Robot, who is shown being corrupted by something or by someone. The overall design of the character looks creative, but I do spot a couple of things that can be taken care of. It's nothing major, but it's always a good idea to color in any areas that are left open, especially if you're working on a picture for a client. After all, a good presentation is the key to satisfactory. And for number 2, I suggest using the shape tool to create a perfect oval in this situation, since both the characters' eyes are designed differently. In this last segment, I'll be reviewing an artist who has posted a preview of a GIF that she completed working on. Also, she provided a link to it in her description, if anyone is interested in checking it out. The drawing itself looks nice, and I find the whole 80s aesthetic theme to be a great touch on this type of piece. My only concern is that one of her eyes shares a slight difference than the other one. Honestly, I would suggest using the selection tool to enlarge your small eye in order to match the other one. But of course, doing this on a finished piece would cause the specific eye to lower its resolution, making it slightly blurry. But again, illustrating a new eye on a new layer is also a good option.